Have you ever eaten a bright, juicy banana and felt smug that you'd chosen health? What if that same snack was quietly stacking risk in the background? A risk your body wouldn't announce until it was almost too late. That's the hard truth about kidneys. They break down slowly, secretly, and their alarm clock usually sounds only after half their job is gone. Most people picture organ failure as sudden. The reality is different. Your kidneys wear their damage like a slow burn. Creatinine is the late text message. By the time it arrives, you've already lost a lot of filtering power. Think of your kidneys as two coffee filters. When they're new, the water runs crisp and clean. As tiny filters called nephrons scar and drop out, residue accumulates. That residue is creatinine. For years you might feel fine. No pain, no drama, just one morning a lab. Number is a little high, but behind that number is a long story. Clinical reviews show the value of diet and fiber in slowing CKD progression. Small diet changes can shift mineral balance and reduce kidney stress. Here's a crucial piece most people miss. Healthy doesn't always mean safe for weakened kidneys. Fruits we praise for vitamins and color can differ wildly in potassium, phosphorus, and natural sugars. Those minerals matter when the kidneys can't clear them well. Too much potassium can turn the bloodstream into an electrical storm, tempting dangerous heart rhythm problems in vulnerable people. Phosphorus can stiffen blood vessels over time, and fruit sugar, fructose, can stoke inflammation. That scars kidney tissue. These aren't abstract ideas. Kidney foundations and nutrition literature list specific fruits that are lower in potassium and phosphorus, and those fruits tend to be safer choices for people with reduced kidney function. But there's also a brighter side. Not every fruit is risky. Some fruits actively help. They lower inflammation, bind minerals in the gut, improve blood sugar control, and deliver antioxidants that protect nephrons. The secret: choose the right compounds and the right portions. Swap blind, eat more fruit. Advice for a surgical, strategic selection. That's what I want to give you now. A handful of fruits that do more good than harm, with the science behind each one. First up, apples. Ordinary looking, but quietly powerful. One medium apple is low in potassium and phosphorus compared with many other fruits, and its peel hides pectin, a soluble fiber that binds phosphorus and other waste in the gut so less of it lands on your kidneys. Nutrition guidance for kidney patients lists apples among the safer fruit choices because they're low in sodium, potassium, and phosphorus while still rich in antioxidants and fiber. Pectin works like a backup filtration route. Instead of forcing minerals through stressed kidneys, pectin carries some of the load out in stool. Trials and reviews on fiber and CKD show better phosphorus control and improved metabolic markers in higher fiber diets. That's not vague. Dietary fiber reduces net mineral stress on the kidneys. Keep the skin on for the full benefit. That's where most of the antioxidant polyphenol live. Next, blueberries. Tiny, blue, and deceptively potent. Blueberries are low in potassium and packed with anthocyanins, the pigments that also act as powerful antioxidants. Studies of blueberry phytochemicals show reductions in inflammatory markers and improvement in vascular and metabolic health. In renal models, anthocyanins blunt the pathways that drive fibrosis and inflammation inside kidneys. For people worried about diabetic kidney damage, blueberries help two ways. They blunt inflammation, and they improve insulin sensitivity, so blood sugar doesn't hammer tiny kidney blood vessels as much. You don't need mountains of them. Half a cup several times a week is enough to deliver meaningful anthocyanins. Fresh or frozen works. Freezing preserves the anthocyanins. If you're thinking, this is sounding like a supplement pitch, pause. These are whole foods with compounds that have been replicated in trials and reviews. and the studies show actual mechanisms relevant to kidney protection. Blueberries aren't magic, but they are one of nature's concentrated anti-inflammatory packets. The next fruit I'll mention goes a step further. It can trigger the body's own repair switches. Red and deep purple grapes carry a well-known compound, resveratrol. Resveratrol has been investigated for years for heart health, but it also engages cellular repair pathways, think sirtuins, that help cells manage stress, repair DNA, and lower inflammatory signaling. Animal studies and human supplement trials show resveratrol can reduce oxidative stress and improve renal markers. Meta-analyses of resveratrol trials note modest improvements in BUN/creatinine and GFR in some contexts, but dosing and the food-to-supplement gap matter. Eating grapes isn't the same as taking concentrated pills. Still, a handful of dark grapes eaten with the skin provides resveratrol and other polyphenol that support tiny blood vessels in the kidney. Portion control is important because grapes pack sugar. 24 small grapes a couple of times per week, always with the skin, is a workable way to get benefits without a sugar spike. Finally, an unlikely tropical ally, pineapple. Pineapple contains bromelain, an enzyme that shows real anti-inflammatory, anti-edema, and fibrinolytic activity in published research. Bromelain helps reduce inflammatory cytokines and can modestly reduce tissue-level inflammation in a way that's mechanistically useful for kidney protection. Fresh pineapple's bromelain is concentrated in the core. Canning and heavy processing destroy much of it. Pineapple also supplies vitamin C and natural diuretic effects that can help fluid balance when used sensibly. Studies on bromelain and inflammatory markers show consistent anti-inflammatory effects in models and some clinical contexts. Not miracle cures, but useful tools that lower the inflammatory signals that drive scarring. Use fresh pineapple. Eat only modest portions, about half to 1 cup a couple times weekly, and avoid canned syrupy fruit. Those 4 fruits, apples, blueberries, red/purple grapes, pineapple, aren't random picks. Each brings a different mechanism: fiber and phosphorus binding, anthocyanin antioxidant effects, resveratrol-linked repair pathways, and bromelain's anti-inflammatory enzymatic activity. When combined and rotated, they give a broad defensive front for kidneys. But before you rush to snack, 2 rules matter: portion control and consistency. Small servings, rotated throughout the week, avoid mineral overload while delivering steady bioactive protection. Here's a simple rotation you can use. It keeps variety, minimizes mineral stacking, and gives your kidneys a rhythm they can handle. Pair each fruit with protein or fiber so glucose is absorbed slowly. Monday and Thursday, apple day, 1 medium apple, peel on, with a spoon of plain yogurt or a small handful of nuts. The fiber slows sugar and lets pectin work in the gut. Tuesday and Friday, blueberry day, half a cup added to oatmeal or stirred into yogurt. Frozen is fine. It keeps anthocyanins intact. Wednesday, grape day, 15 to 20 red or deep purple grapes with the skin on. Eat them at lunch with a protein source to blunt the sugar wave. Weekend treat, pineapple, half to 1 cup fresh, ideally with a bit of the core for bromelain. Eat it raw. Keep portions modest. Prep tips that make this realistic: wash and slice apples and keep them in lemon water to prevent browning. Portion blueberries into single-serve containers so they're grab-and-go. Pre-cut pineapple into airtight jars and only keep a few days in the fridge. Little habits turn good intentions into consistent practice. Now, a crucial reminder: fruit is a tool, not the whole toolbox. You must pair these food habits with other kidney-protective daily choices. Cut back on sodium. Moderate animal protein rather than piling on steaks. Keep hydration steady. Don't flood the system, but don't chronically underhydrate. Control blood sugar. Manage blood pressure. Every one of these variables affects tiny kidney vessels and filtration. The fruits help, but they work best inside a larger plan that reduces the workload on your kidneys. Reviews and clinical guidance emphasize that diet patterns, fiber plus controlled sodium and protein intake, give the most reliable benefits for CKD patients. A quick patient note, because stories teach better than charts. I once worked with someone who swore they ate clean, but had rising creatinine. Their mornings were 2 bananas and orange juice. We swapped that for 1 apple, some eggs, and a half cup of blueberries a few times a week. Over months, their lab trend stabilized and their swelling eased. That single pattern change didn't cure everything, but it took pressure off the kidneys and turned an upward trend into a hold. That's the point. Small daily choices compound. The evidence we've looked at shows that consistent fiber and polyphenol intake is associated with slower CKD progression. It's not magic. It's persistent, low-level support. Safety and monitoring. If you have advanced kidney disease, are on dialysis, or are under nephrology care, check with your clinician before starting any new rotation. Labs, potassium, phosphorus, creatinine, and eGFR are the objective measure of progress. The literature supports that diet patterns can change mineral balance and inflammatory markers, but personal biology varies and labs must guide therapy. If your doctor says, monitor your potassium, take that seriously. The last thing you want is well-meaning but unmonitored changes that create risk. Here's a 7-day challenge you can follow to see how you feel. Rotate the fruits above. Keep sodium moderate. Aim for consistent hydration and track energy and swelling. Watch your mornings and evenings for changes. Notice sleep, digestion, and how your clothes fit. Lab changes take longer, weeks to months, but subjective changes are often the first sign you're doing something right. Final thought, and this one matters. Your kidneys are not fragile in the sense of being helpless. They are resilient organs engineered to compensate. They can recover function when we remove chronic stressors and feed them the right nutrients and signals. The compounds in apples, blueberries, grapes, and pineapple aren't miracle drugs. They are practical, evidence-backed supports that reduce inflammation, improve metabolic control, bind minerals before they reach the kidneys, and in some cases, activate repair pathways. That combination matters. So here's what I want you to remember. Stop assuming fruit is a single category. Be strategic. Choose low mineral, high fiber, high polyphenol fruits. Rotate them. Control portions. Pair them with protein and fiber, and measure progress with real labs and symptoms. If you do that, you can turn tiny daily acts into real, measurable change. If this opened your eyes, share it with someone who assumes fruit is always safe. If you want a printable 1-week meal plan or a short script for voiceover timing, tell me which length you prefer and I'll produce it next, formatted for narration cadence with hooks, beats, and timestamps. Thanks for sticking with me. Your kidneys work nonstop. Return the favor with strategy, not panic. Eat smart, rotate smart, measure smart, and give your kidneys the steady, science-backed support they deserve.